is that when you're going to replace one expression with the other. So over here, I'm looking for this problem, okay? So for this one, you have x and y, they both, oops, that's not what I want. You have both isolated. So you can replace into each other. So what I would do, I'm going to carry that expression and bring it over to the other problem. So I'm taking this expression. When I replace, I want to replace with the opposite letter. Okay, I don't want to replace the same letter because what's the point of that? You're going to replace with a different letter. So I'm taking this expression, 3 minus 5x, replace that with the y. So look at the letter. This is the x, and I'm going to replace with the y. So you always want to replace the different letters. Okay, so what happened is some of you like replace with the same thing, and then you ended up like, Miss Nguyen, I cannot solve it. What is going on? Right? So we replace for the opposite variable. Okay, Lewis, the link is in the chat. Make sure you join Paradox. So when you replace, now you're gonna have x equal to 4. You only replace the y, so instead of the y, I'm replaced with that new expression, which is 3 minus 5x. So this is substitution method. You carry one expression from one equation and bring that over, okay? To solve this one, we do distribution. Whenever you see the parenthesis, you do distribution. So this would be 12 minus, you're going to multiply. When we do distribution, we multiply into both terms. So multiply the 3 and then multiply this one as well. So negative 20x. So now you notice you have both, the equation you end up with having is just the same letter, which we know what to do with that. So plus 20x, combine like term. So bring that over, so I have 21x equal to 12. Okay. Now when we solve for x, what I would do is divide by 21, and it's okay. It's okay if we run into something weird. 12 over 21, or if we want to reduce this, we know they both can divide by 3, so 4 over 7. We can do that. So that is the x values. Here's a question. Can we just stop right now? If I just solve for the x, can I just like, I'm done with this problem, or what else should I do? Okay, plug it in for the x so that way we can solve for y. That is correct. So I'm taking this. Once I have this number, I carry this and plug into one of the equations, sorry. So I'm taking this, plug into the x values. That will work too, okay? So 4 over 7 equals 4y. Divide by 4. That would give you 1 over 7. Okay. And then we solve for y. So your answer, if you put that, is going to be 4 over 7, 1 over 7. Now, if you want to change this to decimal, you have a calculator and you feel comfortable with doing a decimal, you can do that too. It's totally fine. If it's a multiple choice, you can convert it and then you should be able to see like, okay, it's match up and I can do that. So that's substitution. You carry one. Abby, I just share with you the link in the chat. So make sure you join for attending. So when you do this, you carry one expression, bring it over, substitution, solve for one letters, and then plug it back into solve for the other one. So question for me on the substitution method, is this something you feel like, Miss Nguyen, let's do another example for substitution? Or you was like, nope, substitution, I'm doing fine. No, thank you. Can you move forward? Another example for substitution or no? We can look at elimination now. Let me know. Another one? Okay. So let's go to do another one. Okay. So same thing, which now I'm looking for the letters and I want to replace. So I'm looking at this one. This one has X by itself already. So this is the one that I want to do, use a substitution. I want to carry that over. So that's the one that I want to use, okay? How do I know which one? It's the one that you have one letter by itself already. That would be much easier for me to carry over. So when I bring it over, I'm going to replace either the X or the Y. So remember the last time I shared with you. See, this one is Y. I'm not going to replace with Y, but what I will do is that I'm going to replace with the opposite letter, which is this one right here, okay? So if your expression have the letter Y, you're not going to replace with Y. You're going to replace with something with the X, the opposite, okay? All right, William, I'm going to share with you the link. Make sure that you join Pear Deck, okay? All right, so once I replace, so I'm going to have over here, it's going to be 2. Instead of X, I make that parenthesis 5Y equals 7. So this should be negative 4y plus 2. So that's substitution part. I replace one expression, I bring that into another equation, okay? Distribution. So negative 8y, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 5y equals 7. Combine like terms, so in here what I see is this has a y, this has y, so I combine those two. So negative 8 and 5 give me, that would give me negative 3y plus 4 equals 7. Minus 4, negative 3y equal to 3. Then you're going to divide by negative 3 on both sides. So I'm going to bring it over here. Divide by negative 3 on both sides. So y is negative 1. Once you solve for y, what you can do is you can plug it back into the y for one of the equation to solve for the x value. So here I have x equal to negative 4 times negative 1 plus 2. So your answer would be 6, negative 1. So that's substitution. So just remind yourself, you're choosing the one that one of the letters already isolate and carry that expression into the other equation. And pay attention to the letters that's given. If this is y, I'm replaced with something different than y. If it's x, I replace with something different than the x. Okay, and then solve equations. All right, I'll give you a few seconds to copy this down if you need to do so. And then if you have questions, put in the chat. Right now, what I will do is that I'm going to turn this into student pace because I know some of you already know what to do and there's no reason for you to wait for me. So I will turn this on. I'm checking this is count as your practice. It would count. If you completed this, that would help you with quarter 3 grade. I will bring it up. So for example, if you have a 3, that will bring you a 3 plus. If you have a 3 plus, that would bring you to a 4. Okay. So if you completed this will give you credit. So I'm going to turn on student pace. What that do is that for those who know what to do, go ahead and just finish up this. Just go through the slide, do the work. You don't have to wait for me. For the one where it's like, I need help, I need more example on this, then you just follow along with me and then just have to pay attention to the slide that I'm telling you to move toward to. Okay, so I know some of you are like, can I just do the practice? Yes, you may. Go ahead and start, move in any slide that you want to. I just turned this into a student pace. Okay, so you don't have to wait for me. I'm expecting that you finish as much as you can. Put in the link? Okay. Let me share the link with everyone again. All right, there's a link in the chat again if you need. All right, so let's move on to elimination. So think about elimination. Elimination is the idea of elimination is we're going to cancel out one of the letters. So the step number one, I'm going to look for the same coefficient. That is mean if I look at the x, they both have the same number in the front. That's the one I want to cancel out. If they don't have the same coefficient, then I'm going to look for the multiple. What I do is I'm taking the bigger values, divide by the smaller values to see to get that number so I can do multiply. Or you can just multiply the coefficient of each other. So those are the method. This you should be able to find in chapter in unit 2 in the notes folder. It's a quarter 3 review. You should be able to find this slide, okay? All right, so let's review elimination. So step number one, I'm looking for the same coefficient. So what I'm seeing right here is the x, they both have 6. So that's the one that I want to cancel out, okay? And here I give you a hint. If they have the same size, I will subtract. If it's the opposite, I will add. What do I mean by that? Look over here. I have 6 and 6. They both are positive. So that means they both are positive. That's the same size. So I will subtract. Minus, minus, minus. Okay. Gone. 14 minus 8 give you 6. 20 minus 8 give you 12. Divide by 6. Y is 2. So this elimination, this one is nice and easy when you have the same coefficient. You don't have to worry about multiply anything. And you look at the side of the same, subtract, opposite, add. You want to have this somewhere on a piece of paper. So on the day of the quarter exam, you have it there for you. Because I'm not going to tell you if you should subtract or add. I'm not going to tell you that. You should have it somewhere. Okay. Now I'm going to finish up this by solving for x value. So I'm using the second one because the number is smaller. That's all. 6x plus 8 times 2 equal 8 plus 18 minus 16. 6x is equal to negative 8 divided by 6. I can just leave it like that. Okay, so my answer is going to be negative 8 over 6 and then 2. So that will work. That's elimination. So step number one, I'm looking for the same coefficient. If they are the same, that's the one that I want to cancel. Question for me in this example. If any of you do this on a piece of paper, make sure you email that to me, the work, and this should help you to bring up your quarter exam. Okay, so it's the quarter exam. It bring up the grade. If some of you not doing well with this class, and you know you're not going to do well in the quarter exam, try to practice. I'm not going to look at right or wrong. I'm looking at your mistakes. I can give you feedback. I can help you. So I would do it. Give it a try. Okay. So question for this. Okay. All right. Let's look for elimination now. Let's do another example when you don't have the same coefficient. If I look in here, I look at the x value. This is 5 and this is 1. They are not the same. This is 6 and that is 2. So I'm not just go ahead and subtract right away. I have to do something. So what I would do is up to you. You want to cancel out the x or cancel out the y. Okay. So in here, let's say I want to cancel out the y. I look at this one. This is 6. This is 2. What I would do, I'm take the bigger values and divide to see you give a nice number. I'm looking for the multiple. So 6 divided by 2 will give you 3. So 6 divided by 2 give you 3. So I know that I'm going to multiply this one by 3. Okay. So I'm going to rewrite the first equation. The second equation, distribution, so 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 10 is 30. Now we can solve this, okay? Looking at this one, One is positive, one is negative, so I will add. Okay, so plus, plus, plus. This one cancel out, so this is 8x equal to 44 divided by 8. Sorry, this is negative 14. I copied is wrong. Okay, this one is negative 14 plus 30, so that would give you negative 14 plus 30, that's give you 16. Divide by 8, x is 2. Okay. I'm going to pause for one second. Okay. Question so far? Question for me? Then I can solve for y, which is I'm using the second equation because that is the one with the smaller values. So instead of x, that will be 2 minus 2y equal 10, minus 2 on both sides. So this is 8 divided by negative 2. Y is negative 4. Okay, so 2, negative 4. That's my answer. So that is eliminations. We doing okay? Are we good? Questions? Some of you already started it. That's great. So just in case you wonder, I'm on slide 7. So if you're not sure what to do and you want some credits, if you copy it over, I'm doing most of the work with you. So there's no reason why you get 0 for this assignment, okay? Because I'm doing the work with you. Just all you need to do is copy it over. Follow along and you'll be fine. Okay, are we still copy or should I move forward? Should I wait? What is that? Okay. All right, I'm gonna do one more example with the elimination when there's no multiple. What do I mean by that? If I look at 5 divided by 3, that can give me a nice number. 9 divided by 4, I'm on slide 8, okay? 9 divided by 4 is not gonna give you a nice number either. So what I would do is I cannot just multiply by one number. What I would do is that I'm gonna multiply the opposites. So what I would do, say this is a 3, I move it here, and I'm going to multiply with a 5 for my second equation, okay? So my new function is going to be 15x distribution plus 12y equal to negative 90. My second equation is 15x minus distributed minus 45y, and then 18 times 5 give you negative 90 as well, okay? Look over here, they both are the same, so I will, so I'm going to subtract, so minus, minus, minus. Cancel 12 minus a negative turn into positive, so that should be 57y minus turn into positive, so this 0, divide 57 on both sides, so y is 0, okay? I'll let you, I'm not going to finish the rest because at this point, I think, unless you want me to, but that's how I approach this problem, okay? Okay, I give you a few seconds to copy this down while asking me a question before we look at word problems. Because I think that's the one that you guys struggle. And then when we do word problems, when we solve it, we're going to review elimination and substitution again. So we'll spend more time with that. No questions? All right. So let's look at not really a bell ringer. Okay. For this one, we're going to kind of review a little bit. We have two types of word problems. The one is the slope intercept, and the other one is the two totals. So right now, I think for the one who already started some of the problem, I think now is a good time for you to go back and follow along with me if you get stuck on word problems. Okay. So we have two types. One is the two totals, and the other one is slope intercept. So the star is for the two total, which is right here because they tell you the two totals. And then the heart is for the intercept because you have y, both y equal to something. And that's the one that we looked at. Okay. All right, let's look at these problems that have done before. So I kind of bring it back to kind of review with you. Okay. How do we know which one is which? Well, think about the two total is when they tell you the total or the sum, and you have exactly two different total. They will tell in the problems. And here, nowhere you found the total. They don't tell you, so you don't know. But the keyword that you want to pay attention to is, here's the thing, it says setup fee. Sorry. So for this one is the setup fee, right? If you think about there's a fee, there's another fee, and then you have something chart per shirt, per hour. There's a keyword in there. So I know this one is a slope intercept blank plus. And now I just have to fill that in. So I'm on slide 13 right now. Okay. So to set it up, the first number by the x value is the rate. So I have the first rate, which is 9.65, and then the fee, which is 43. And then for the second company, they tell you 8.40, and the fee is 58. So that would be my setup. When you run into slope intercepts, the best method that I would use to solve word problem is just elimination. Elimination is make it much easier for you to solve. Okay, so we set it up. It's always going to be this template to solve it. You see this one, I can just go ahead and subtract because I have the same coefficient. This is 1 and this is 1. So this is 0. And then you can minus the other number, 9.65 minus 8.4. Okay, and then 43 minus 58. Okay, to solve this problem at 15. So 15 equal to 1.25x. Divide. Thus give you 12. Okay, and now what you do is you plug it back into one of the equations to solve for y, and that will tell you. But this question is how many shirts would cost the same. In this case, 12 shirts. The answer would be 12 shirts. Questions? Okay. All right. let's do, let's look at the one with the two totals. We do one more with the two totals, and then I'll give you the rest of the time for me to look at your work and for you to ask me questions, okay? So for the two total, the template would be blank plus y equal to something, blank plus blank y equal to something, right? So I'm just going to fill this in. Okay, so in here is tell you on the first day, the first total, they tell you the first total, right? And then the second total is, on the second day is 120. So that is the number that I want to use, 275. And the second total is 120, okay? The first day, say 14, senior. And then the 13 for the child ticket. Okay. So I'm doing the same thing for the second prize, the second total, which is 7 seniors and 3 child ticket. And what I can do is now I can just solve for the system. So this is how I would set it up. So even though you may not remember how to solve it, hopefully you can set it up, and when we can at least get half credit for being able to set it up. Questions on how I set it up? Okay. So when I do this, I'm looking at my coefficient. I see the x values. The 14 is a multiple of 7. So that is the one that I want to multiply. So 14 times 2. That's what I would do. So what I would do, I multiply this by 2. So 14x plus 6y equal to 240. Minus, 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 so 13 minus 6 give you 7. 275 minus 240, that's 35, divide by 7, y is 5. And y is represent the child ticket. And I can go back and plug into one of the equations to solve for the senior's ticket. So 7x plus 3 times 5 equal 120. If you solve this correctly, this is 15. So 120 minus 15 give you 105. Divide by 7. X is 15. So you have 15 senior ticket. Okay. All right, I'll leave it on for you to take notes. Question for me? Let me know. Right now I'm looking at your work. So I'm hoping that you can move around, go to different slides, try to practice that you stuck, and let me know if any slide that I should check on for you. Then I will let you know. I'll take a look and like, okay, you are good. I know, and then I'll give you feedback. Okay. Okay. So go ahead and start on those. Slide 4. Okay, so let me move to slide 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so for slide 4, this look like it should be substitution method because I have this one by itself. So I'm again, that I should have that expression and plug it in here into the y. So I will plug it into not the same letter, but a different letter. So I have x I replace with the y. So negative ax plus 4. So instead of y, now I'm replaced with that, right? So 2x minus 1. Okay. So negative 8 plus distribution, that would be ax minus 4. I always draw the line when I have the equal sign, so it's easy for me to identify. So over here I have negative 8 and 8. If I combine those two, this will give you 0, right? Because it's going to cancel out. So 0 minus 4. So 0 minus 4 give you negative 4 and negative 4. If I have a true statement, anyone remember the statement? If I have a true statement, if everything cancel out, if I have a true statement, then it's going to be infinitely many solutions. So this problem, that's a good question. This is a good problem. This is a special case. Okay, so if it's a true statement, it's many solution. If you ended up cancel out the letters, the variable, but the two numbers don't match up, let's say you have a negative 4 and a 3, then it will be no solution. So if it's the same as a true statement, many solution. If you don't have a true statement, it's going to be 0 solution. Okay, that's a good question. Any other slide that you want me to go over, just put in the chat and then I will go over that with you. Okay.